Thank you. On that note, Makram, my wife was saying that when, before we were married, she came to see the Mahabharata in this very space, but separate to me. And the Mahabharata, by the way, it was a 9-hour. If you don't know, it was a 9-hour epic production that had that tremendous sense of a whole audience attempting a marathon together. It had a tremendous sense in the audience as much as on the stage of something special happening. And if you think back to that time as well, it was a time before industrial spaces were commonplace. You know, now we have things like Tate Britain or various spaces, if you can think of, on the Edinburgh Fringe, where we're used to this sort of bare brick and so on. But it was much more novel then, and it was also much more novel to see a 9-hour production. I mean, it's not exactly commonplace now, but there have been several in this space as well since then. So that in itself was remarkable. My wife was just saying that she remembers coming to this show and being petrified that she wasn't going to understand it. It was a Sanskrit epic. It was going to go on for 9 hours. She felt that she was going to be puzzled by this international company. And so she was desperately trying to, she got a hold of a copy of the script and she was desperately trying to read it in advance of getting here. And of course, you get to see a Peter Brook production, and the watchwords are clarity, a quality of elemental simplicity and communication, and that even happened in when productions such as La Tempête, which was the French language version of The Tempest, came here. Even if your French wasn't particularly good, there was a sense of communication that happened. And so Makram, just thinking about what you were just saying, can you describe the way that Peter Brook works with you as an actor that brings out that sense of communication with an audience?
Well, I'm not allowed to speak much about this experience, but anyway, in brief, I think the most important thing is to make me feel that I'm a vulnerable person, to believe in myself. Like, usually we actors, we stand behind the lines, behind the words, like, and we let, the characters speak. But here I felt that I'm having the confidence of being me, myself, and as simple and as truthful as possible. And this is what mainly Marie-Hélène and Peter Brook, took me or directed me to go into this direction. To be you, yourself, simple and truthful. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but it takes time. It takes time to understand and to know more about yourself, And this is mainly, that I could speak of.
Mm-hmm. Tunji, what do you think about that? I mean, it sounds very, very simple, doesn't it? But what is the hard work that goes into a production like this?
Consistency, because after a while, I mean, it takes. We've done this. We've been doing it for quite some time now, and it seems like it just gets more and more delicate, because we have to keep it truthful, and it has to. The character needs to be real and natural and still you, and that is the only thing that, well, Peter talks about it, and he makes sure that we never lose the realism in the piece. So. And
yeah, thank you. And Khalifa, it's the same sort of question. How do you achieve that level of truth? How do you feel? Because it's easy for an actor to come on and act, to sort of show off and tell the world that you are there being a performer. How do you strip that away?
Like what Makram says, it's not easy to clean your mind and to clean yourself from all the years of theaters and from formal theater or for other places. It's not easy to just to take everything and like clothes, just to take everything outside from yourself and to be just yourself. It's not easy. But for me, it was also, it was a privilege to be twice and to work with Peter and Marianne twice. And for me, it was always surprising. I surprised myself, and it was always surprising because I knew that everything is just start. And sometimes I told my friend, wait, it's just the beginning. And after 1 month, I said, wait, it's just at the beginning. And they did. It's unbelievable because you always find in yourself something else, and you don't know that where are you going. Till now, I don't know where I am going because always something in you, and that's what I can say. But
it's the process of discovering every day a new thing, and this is what's so precious about this kind of work, because usually when we work in the theater, we stick to the movement. You go from here and there, and you sit, and you know. But here it's a different kind of work. We keep discovering what we did yesterday. That was yesterday. Today is a new thing. We might discover a new thing. We might explore it. And this kind of work allows you. And it's becoming very interesting, really, and gives you a lot of confidence. And this is, I wanted to add to what I said before, so I remembered now.
Yeah. No, but to continue on that note, when you all introduced yourself, and at the Barbican there was a post-show, it wasn't so much a post-show discussion I saw, it was a post-show workshop, I suppose, in which Peter Brook and the whole company came on stage and pretty much gave a masterclass with the entire Barbican audience. Everybody stayed behind. It was quite a remarkable experience. But one of the things that came out in that was the nature of the company as a group of actors. It's not just that the actors come from different countries, it's that individually you all have quite a mixed sort of background, so that your parents come from different places and you live in different places. But the word empowerment is overused. But does the fact of that you're acting in this company at all, does that bring a sense of ownership with the material and a sense of your input into the show is not just a Peter Brook show, it's not just a Marie-Hélène show, it's your show as well?
Yes. It's in the sense ownership, in the sense that it is so universal. Besides being one group and almost one family, and to cope with this beautiful young man, and to cope with this beautiful young man, and you know, and it's not, you know, but the thing is, what I wanted to say is, it's becoming, we own it in the sense of it's universal. It happens in my country back home, it happens in Ireland, it could happen in Africa, in Nigeria. It happens in almost every society where you have differences between religions or different, you know what I mean. But it's mainly, you know, it's becoming now so in the world, the religious problems. Groups back home, and not to talk between Jews and Arabs, even between the Arabs, between Sunnis and Shias, and like Protestants and Catholics, and not to talk about the fractions of political parties. You know, you have so it's happening. I mean, it's very universal. Even if we are talking about 11 and 12. What's the difference between, I mean, sorry to deal with it, between Protestants and Catholics? It's very simple. It's like one more bead, you know, to pray it or not to pray this. I mean, you know, and that's what makes us human beings. We are all the same. We share almost the same thing. We're not talking only about Islam. It just happened this way. It could be anywhere in the world.